Pokemon TCG Pocket is a brand new mobile card game, released on the 30th of October 2024. Unlike the majority of Pokemon phone games, this is actually a legitimate game, as it comes from the Pokemon company themselves. I've just reached level 12, which probably isn't very high, but it's high enough for me to get a general feel for what there currently is to do in the game, and unfortunately, that isn't a whole lot. According to the Pokemon company, Pokemon TCG Pocket was to allow more people to enjoy the Pokemon TCG in a more casual way. And one of the ways they've done this is by reducing the deck size down to 20 cards. Building decks is a core premise of the game, alongside collecting cards and battling opponents. Of those 20 cards, you can use the same card up to 2 times, and these cards could be monsters or trainer cards. Trainer cards could either be a support card, like Professor's Research, or it could be an item card, such as the Pokeball. You can only play one support card per turn, and the basic starter one, the Professor's Research, allows you to draw 2 more cards. But I've got a really cool Giovanni card, and what this does is it lets my attacking Pokemon do an extra 10 damage for 1 turn. And honestly, that's nowhere near as useful as it sounds. But for that to make sense, you need to know how the battle system works. At the end of the day, it's Pokemon. You're battling one of yours against one of theirs, and type matters. Though typing in the TCG is drastically simplified. We go from having 18 types and the potential of dual typing, down to 10 types and no dual typing. Despite having 10 types, we only have 8 energy types, which I'll get into later on this video. Type advantages are super helpful, but they're not essential, as all they do is they add an extra flat 20 damage onto your attack. And the type chart looks a little bit different from regular Pokemon. A lot of it is still the same. Fire is weak to water, grass is weak to fire, and water is weak to grass, the basic trio that's been in Pokemon since the very beginning. Oh wait, water isn't weak to grass. Water is weak to electric and apparently steel. You'd think it'd be really easy to find a type chart online or somewhere in game, but I spent ages trying to find it. So what I'll do is I'll leave my source in the description, so if I'm wrong, you could blame them and not me. Some of the type changes will seem a little bit odd at first, but they do actually make sense. For example, fighting is weak to grass, but that's because fighting in the Pocket TCG is a combination of fighting types, rock types, and probably ground types too. And with rock and ground already being weak to grass in the usual game, it sort of makes sense. Each game will start off with a coin flip, and from my experience, you want to go second, as it lets you get the first attack in, giving you a slight advantage. Both players need to choose a Pokemon to stick in their front, and these are the only 2 Pokemon that can actually attack and take damage, unless someone has a card with a special ability, allowing you to deal damage to the back row. The back row contains 3 other spots for Pokemon, and these spots are called the bench. Once these spots have been filled, there's actually no way to get the Pokemon that you set actually back. Or at least that I found so far. I could definitely see there being a support card out there to do it. Your main card, however, is actually not stuck in the front position. If you're willing to sacrifice some energy that's already on them, once per turn you can actually retreat the frontmost Pokemon and replace it for one of the ones sat on your bench. This can only be done before you attack, but a Pokemon that switches place can actually attack. So what you could do is you could hold a really strong evolution in your hand, evolve one of your benches that have a powerful attack, swap places with your frontmost Pokemon, and now you've got an easy kill. So who's best to put in front? Well, you can't actually just play your most powerful Pokemon and attack straight away, since you actually need to evolve your Pokemon, unless your Pokemon doesn't come from evolving, like Mewtwo. How it works is you can only play a stage 1 Pokemon, and after they've been on the field for a turn, you can evolve them, assuming you have the evolve form in your hand. Though you don't always actually want to do this, as yes, they do get stronger, but quite often they need more energy to attack. Every turn you generate energy, and you can distribute this between your Pokemon. The energy that you generate is determined by what you select when you're building a deck. And I actually find it easiest to go with mono energy, with the addition of a few strong colourless cards as well. Every attack has a certain amount of energy required to use. Most attacks don't consume energy, so once you've stacked up a really powerful card full of energy, you're quite often just set for the game. Mewtwo, as mentioned earlier, has a 4 cost attack, and it does actually consume energy to use, which is why I actually personally don't like using Mewtwo. Gengar, on the other hand, is currently my favourite card. His card comes with 170 life, which is a lot, and his attack uses 3 energy to deal 100 damage. His pre-evolved forms, Ghastly and Haunter, both only require 1 energy to do their attack, so they require really minimal setup. But what you'll notice is Gengar requires 3 Psychic type energy to attack. Ghosts are psychic types in this version of the game, by the way. Originally I was actually using psychic and fighting, but having cards that use specific types of energies just made the RNG more likely to screw me, as it's random which energy you'll generate each turn. This is where colourless cards are extremely useful. Another one of my favourite cards is Wiglytuff, because I love to try my hand at the sleep RNG. Wiglytuff requires 3 energy to attack, but a benefit is it's any 3 energy. This lets you pad out your monotype decks with different Pokemon types without affecting your energy generation. Whenever Wiglytuff attacks, they put the enemy to sleep, and when it's their turn, they have to flip a coin to see whether or not they wake up. But what really confuses me is they get to do this twice. Once at the start of the turn and once more at the end of their turn. I think if they fail the first flip, they can't attack regardless of the second flip's results, but I'm not sure. And honestly, that's pretty much the game. There's a few other small things to cover, like Pokemon having abilities that can either be passive or activated on your turn. Things like my Gengar's ability that stops the other players from using his support cards when he's in the front spot. Another great example is Greninja, that can actually deal damage to opposing cards without using their attack for a turn. Other than that, the game is currently just to open packs, build a deck, and battle a series of AI opponents that I will admit, I'm actually stuck trying to beat the Grass Trainer on the hardest difficulty. Executor and Venusaur are really strong in this game. And there's another section of the game called Wonder Pick, but honestly it's not even really worth talking about. As people open up packs, you get to see what they got out of the pack, and through the Wonder Pick you can actually try your hand at getting one of their cards. It's a 1 in 5 chance no matter what it is, even if it's the best card versus the worst card, and all of this sounds great, except the fact that it uses its own sort of currency called the Wonder Pick token, or something like that. And this generates so absurdly slowly. I swear it's like 24 hours per token. And for anyone that pulls a good card, it starts costing more and more tokens. So sometimes you can find yourself waiting several days before doing a Wonder Pick just trying to get something good. Now obviously there's PvP, but for me it just doesn't seem like there's enough variance in the game right now to interest me in trying this. But look, I'll be honest, I'm enjoying the game. I think it's really good and I can't wait to see the game update and get more stuff out there. But I can't really play it for too long as there's not really enough to do. Hopefully we get a mode where you can build up a random deck as you battle through opponents, either AI or human. And it'd be nice to see everything rewarding you with packs, or a currency that you can use to buy packs. Obviously that's the most fun and exciting part of the game, at least for me it is. So I'd love to be able to do it more. You can open 2 packs for free per day, and also I don't have it recorded, but it's a super cool thing. Occasionally when you're opening up a pack, some of the packs are actually backwards. And if you choose to open this, you open up the cards backwards, so you get the best cards at the first, and it has to flip them around. It's small cool things, it's nice. There's a lot of nice touches. The cards are gorgeous, they're lovely. There are some immersive cards I haven't gone here to show you, but they're really cool because you can go into like a whole crazy world. And the cool thing is I know we're expecting more packs coming soon. We're getting the 2nd generation of cards to come out sometime either in December or January. But I still think we need more. Not just a 2nd generation of packs. Like, it'd be really cool if they introduced the same packs that we see in real life. Like if we could open up Battle Styles, Evolving Skies, Chilling Rain, Vivid Voltage, you know, if we could actually open up real packs, that would be really cool in my opinion. Especially if they start doing like re-releases of the original set. It'd be really cool to open base sets up because I'm never going to get the opportunity to do that in real life. But anyway, what do you all think? Are you enjoying it? Is there currently enough content to keep you interested? What I'm really curious is, does it make you more interested in trying to learn the real TCG game? Because I personally don't know how it works, but I've got a fairly big Pokemon card collection. Anyway, let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you have to think. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye.